עבדך כמו היה השתחווה אל מול הדרך. From the top again, deep breath. ידיד נפש אב הרחמן, ידיד נפש אב הרחמן, משוך עבדך אל רצונך, ישתחווה אל מול הדרך. The high part ירוץ עבדך כמו היה ישתחווה אל מול הדרך. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to those joining us remotely. Nice to have everybody together. Let's begin our service by lighting the candles and greeting the Shabbat formally on page 120. Page 120.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Let's all say together, Lehadlik ner, Lehadlik ner, Shel Shabbat. Okay, let's turn ahead. To page 132, 132. At the bottom of the page, I like to sing Or Zarua, the last four lines on the page. Or Zarua Latzadi, Ule Yisraelei Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadi, Ule Yisraelei Simcha. Simechu tzadikim b'Adonai, Vehodu lezecher kosho. Simechu tzadikim b'Adonai, Vehodu והודו לזכר קודשו. אור זרוע לצדיק, ולישראל שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק, ולישראל שמחה. שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. איי ליי ליי, איי ליי ליי ליי, איי ליי 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 ליי, איי ליי 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 ליי, איי ליי ליי ליי, איי ליי 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 ליי, איי ליי 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 ליי. $135 at the bottom. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו השתחוו להר קודשו. קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. $138. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור שמור וזכור דיבור אחד, השביענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela boi b'shalom aderet bala גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני ים סגולה בואי כלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Six lines from the bottom. It's funny how you have to remind yourself to do very simple, basic things. So much of Jewish living is about reminding ourselves things that we do so that when we see them, we think of something. Or when we hear it, we think of something. We celebrate Yizkor and Zikaron. All kinds of remembrances and bringing to the front of our mind things which are actually not hard to do. It's not that they're difficult. In fact, it's that it's very easy to just let them be in the background. Operate without our awareness of them. So we wear the talit so that when we see the tzitzit, it will remind us of the mitzvot. And we put a mezuzah on our door so that when we see it, we'll remember the Torah and our covenant with God and what that means to live in a Jewish home. The Shabbat itself is called a zikaron, a remembrance, so that we'll remember more than one thing. And I always think we have to remember how to do the very basic things of life. How to care for each other, how to care for ourselves. It's so easy to forget. How to breathe deeply and root our feet in the ground below us. So easy to live with shallow breath and in an artificial way that we have to remind ourselves that we are natural. And we have to remember that the whole universe, all of our experience, everything that we go through in every moment of every day is because it is part of God's unfolding universe, which God spoke and brought into being. And so anything that happens through us is something which happens through God's will. And that we are intimately connected with the movement of the stars, the moon and the sun, beneath our feet. Mikolot ma'im rabim adirim nishterei yam adir b'marom Adonai eyedotecha nemnu me'od levet panav hakodesh Adonai page to 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barechuni leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Good. Let's stand page 144. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabba ve'alma dirach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayeichon u'v'yomeichon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Ba'agala, ba'agala, ubizman kari veimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, leolam, leolmei olmaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, veishtabach, V'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'imeru, amen. 146. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Yaharu Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed You can be seated. Let's read together on 149 at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. And on page 151, let's again read it together in English. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery, and together, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We stand for the Shema on page 152. Good feet firmly on the floor, chest up, chin up, stretch your back and head towards heaven. Fill your body with your breath. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. You can be seated. Together on 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך וביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. Let's read together at the bottom of 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Together, 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot Osei fele, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu be'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Turn to page 162 and please stand. We'll sing V'Shamru. V'Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל עודי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. We begin the Amidah, page 164. Svatay tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha, Adonai, Svatay tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha, Adonai, Svatay tiftach. together, 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We continue quietly, 172. through 178. יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל Veimeru Amen. Oh, say Shalom. Roma Vuyase Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel, ve'meru Amen. Oh, say Shalom, v'meroma Vuyase Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel, ve'meru Amen. Good, you can be seated. We'll turn ahead to page 371. And offer a blessing for those who are ill. I think I've shared with you before that on Shabbat, most of the daily blessings that we say for our own benefit, things we're asking for, are suspended. On a regular weekday morning, you ask God for a good livelihood, and you ask God for justice in the world, and you ask God that your community be filled with good and righteous leaders, and for a wide range of things which we need on an ongoing basis. But on Shabbat, we suspend all of that. We're really not supposed to ask for more. We're supposed to have the experience of a world that's just right, that's just perfect, in which there's no flaw, and everything is exactly as it should be. And I think we all know that that's not entirely true, but of course we're creating Shabbat. It's not some thing that's out there. It's something which we create. A sense within us that for a period of time at least, everything is just as it should be. And the world does not need any of my requests or any of my industry to make it better. And in fact, what I need is to rejuvenate and renew myself through a reconnection to the people who I love and to the earth itself, the source of life. But there's one exception to that. There's one thing that we do ask for on Shabbat. And in a traditional blessing, we even say something along the lines of, we know it's Shabbat and we're not supposed to ask for anything. Right, a little disclaimer. But we're going to ask anyways. And the thing we ask for is refuah, for healing. Because the need for healing does not stop even on Shabbat. And if you are suffering, if you are ill, or if someone close to you is suffering and they are ill, you know what I'm talking about. And that means everyone knows what I'm talking about. That you really can't suspend your care and concern for other people, or your worry about yourself, even for a day for Shabbat. That voice is still in the back of our head. And we know that nothing really is more important than health and healing. At the end of the day, what else matters? So even on Shabbat, even though it is Shabbat, and even though the tradition is not to ask for what we need on Shabbat, we still ask for healing. And so let's do that. I'll say the blessing, and then we'll pause to allow you to include the names of people who you're thinking of today. I'll encourage you both here, and then we'll pause to allow people online to also include the names of people they're praying for tonight. Misha berach avoteinu v'imotenu, Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah Karacha v'Leah, v'yivarech v'yapeh et kol hacholim. May God, the Holy One, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill, including
Susie Horowitz, Buddy Carroll, Edwin Speck, Keith Hood, Andrew Wheeler. Solomon Horowitz, Phyllis Falk, Susan Eilers, Ron Robinson, Ann Olin, and Jerry and Margot Hunt.
Linda Aaron Saft, Marcy Shulman, Nina Shulman, Joe Wagner, Sherry Silver, Barbara Frank, Lois and Alan Sorkin, Uvana Thomas, Louise Lyon, Andrew Fine.
David Cobor, the Downey family, Tina New, and Arthur Dimkowski.
Harold Katz, Julie Shaven, Philip Bonhock, Mary D. McBride, Mary Chris Bonhock.
Leo and Juanita Clausen, Debbie Clausen, Polly Contos, Anya and Harrison Seyfried.
Linda and Stephen Ely, Allison Slaughter, Rebecca Goodman, Robert Whitlock, Tuli Vittner, Tanya Hurst, Amy Goldstone, Bonnie Miller, Lisa Miller, Jerry Wells, Corey Freeman, Eddie Young, Arlen Conley, Mike Roth, Dennis Sadler, Shelley Storch, Nia Thornton, Roxana and Frank Gomez, Deanna Steamer.
May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and we all say, Amen. Let's sing. May the source of strength, who bless the one before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Nisheberach imotenu ekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us sing, Amen. Good Shabbos. So nice to see everybody and be together, sing together, make that transition from the normal week to Shabbat. I want to reflect a little on what I started to talk about earlier, which is how Shabbat is a reminder. It's supposed to remind us of something. All of what we do. The meal, the prayers, the rituals, the lifestyle changes that come with Shabbat. All of that is not just for its own sake. Even though it is good all on its own. Wonderful Shabbos meal, I mean, that's good. Right? Do I need to justify that in some way? Do I need a reason to make the best meal of the week? No, I don't. The rest of Shabbat. I don't mean the remainder. I mean the resting on Shabbat. That's so good. It's so good all on its own, and we all know we need it. Do I need to justify that? To take 1 out of 7 days and rest and renew yourself, sharpen the saw, as it were? No, I don't need to do that. They make sense on their own, but we don't do them for those reasons. And those are the benefits that we gain, the goodness, the oneg and joy and happiness that comes to us from observing Shabbat. It is not the reason. The reason is to jog our memory every single week. And it's to jog our memory not about a single specific thing, but about 2 specific things. We mention them both in the Kiddush, the blessing over the wine that we say on Friday night. We say, V'Shabbat Kodsho, God's holy Shabbat, B'Ahava Uvratzon Hinchilanu, He bequeathed it to us. It's a gift. With love and with His will. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, as a remembrance of the creation of the world, the acts of creation. Makes sense, yes? We're supposed to do this so that we remember that the world we live in is a created world. That the holy, blessed one of the whole universe made this universe. Whatever that means. It can mean something different to you. It's very easy to forget that, because the world that we live in doesn't look like that so often. And so we have to stop with the way we normally live so that we can remember that the world we're living in, our life, our experience, the whole everything, it's not some random happening. God does not play dice with the universe, is how Einstein put it. This is not just by chance that things happen, right? There's something. There's a guiding force. There's a creative force. An intimate creativity that is at the heart of our life's experience. And so our meals on Shabbat and our rest on Shabbat and our prayers on Shabbat are meant to remind us all the time, every week, because it's so easy to forget that this world is God's world. And then the Kiddush continues, and it suggests to us that Ki hu yom techila lemikra e kodesh. This is sort of the original holy day, is the Sabbath. All the other holidays are going to come later. Sukkot, when Shabbat is given as a commandment, there's no Sukkot yet. There's no Rosh Hashanah yet. This is sort of the beginning of the Mikra e Kodesh, those things that God declares are holy, those days that God just says, these are holy days. Rest and don't work on them. And then it says, Zecher liyetziat Mitzrayim, as a reminder of the Exodus from Egypt. So which is it? Right? Is Shabbat a reminder of the creation in Genesis? Or is it a reminder of the redemption from slavery in Exodus? Because those are 2 very, very different phenomenon in the Bible. I mean, they're both crucial, and obviously, the story doesn't exist without both of them. But there's a deep difference between them. Genesis is a universal experience. It happens to everyone. It is ours simply by virtue of our birth. We're children of the earth, right? Yeah. You didn't have to do anything to become a human. You were just born. Just like the earth, right? Poof, out of First you weren't there, now you're there. And it's universally true. There's no Torah in the Garden of Eden. The creation of the world is not a Jewish phenomenon. It's a universal phenomenon described in the Jewish book. But the Exodus from Egypt is not that. The Exodus from Egypt requires our participation. It is an experience unique to our people. It's the birth of our people and our nation as a nation. It's what defines our purpose as a people. It's the subjective experience. It's the particular experience, not the universal one. Only a small number of people who have ever lived are part of the Jewish people and are part of the inheritance of the Exodus from Egypt. Its themes are broad and big, but we're reminded of this moment where we had to make a choice to go. We had to make a choice to say yes to the covenant and redemption of God. It's not a result of our birth. It's a result of our commitment and our connection to our history, a particular history that asks a particular set of things from us. Not a better set of things, just a specific set. And so Shabbat in some way is meant to remind us of both that which we share with everyone else and that which is uniquely ours. It's a cherished inheritance. Not everyone in the world knows the Shabbat we know. It's special, unique to us. It makes us feel special. When we meet someone else who's observing Shabbat and we're observing Shabbat, we're instantly sharing something connected. And it's meant to remind us of our uniqueness, of our specialness, of our particular heritage. But it is also meant to reconnect us to the deep truth that we are also part of the universal human experience. It's not just Jewish. That's not enough to only be Jewish and not to be human. So when we say Kiddush, and when we eat our meal, and when we take our rest, and when we study and pray together, let those things remind us, bring to the front of our mind what makes us unique and what makes us universal. Shabbat Shalom. And let's stand for the Aleinu on page 586. And I'm going to remember Judy. Together, Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon HaKol, lateit gdula liotzer reshit, shelo asanu goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu at the top of 588 Shehu noteh shamayim ve'yosed haaretz u'moshav yikaro v'shamayim imal u'shchinatu zo begavei meromim hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu efes ulato kakatu betorato היום וידעת היום והשבת אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחתינו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, Good, you can be seated. This week we mark Yortzites for Kobe Carmichael, Harry Fuchs, Shirley Fuchs, Judith Hafley, John Brown, Sandra Goodman, Danny Massu, David Perkel, Albert Stuckler, and Calvin Weiss. And we continue to call to memory those who died during the previous 12 months: Daniel Roach, Nicholas Collins, Ed Gallup, Frank Perrone, Barbara Babbitt, Eugene Schmuckler, John McPeak, Dennis Clausen, and Ellie Freed. Any other Yortzites tonight? No? Are folks here to observe some of these Yortzites tonight? Yeah? Yeah? You want to say a little something about them? Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Tehei nishmotam tzururot b'tzurah chayim. May their souls be bound up in the bonds of life, and may their memories be a blessing. Let's say the Kaddish together. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Again, thank you everybody for coming tonight and for joining our services. If you joined us remotely, we'll join together tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock for some tefillah, some services, and some learning together. So please join us Saturday mornings also at 11. I'm trying to think any other announcements. Yes, I would like to make some thanks. Thanks to Judy and to Denise and Jeannie, who are helping to run the show and broadcast us and make it all sound good and make it look like it's easy for me. And they have some announcements too.
In keeping with current CDC guidelines, TBD has gone mask optional for those who are fully vaccinated. Masks are still required for anyone not fully vaccinated. Please consider joining us in the sanctuary to worship as a community. And please continue to read your TBD emails for announcements and event details.
Good. And if you don't get TBD emails, write us, let us know, call us, get on our list. We're happy to share it with you. You do not have to be a member to get our emails. So please get involved and join what we're doing. There's a lot of good stuff going on. Any other announcements, anything that I'm missing? No? Good. So if you're here, please join us for Kiddush and Oneg in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom.